Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Shakira Alia Kamil Madrasa online class program for Alim class. Here is Muhammad Mubashir Jawan. Dear viewers, listeners, and students, Assalamu alaikum. I am going to take the class of today based on our English text paper 1. Dear students, you have already heard that online program is going on throughout the country. According to that, we are taking our classes, and this is my second appearance before you. I have arranged our today's class in this way, as you see on the whiteboard. Objectives of today's class: identification of parts of speech, use of verbs, and introduction to tenses. Dear students, you know, in the communicative method, we have to go through and realize with a comprehensive method in the textbook of our national curriculum. But before that, it's our duty to discuss points on basic structure of English. On that point of view, I am going to discuss our today's points. First of all, identification of part of speech. You know, and you are already informed of the use of parts of speech from your previous classes, but still there are some points to discuss, of course. Identification of parts of speech will have a ready application for you to get through the meaning of sentences that you will read from the textbooks. So let us have some ideas about how we can identify parts of speech from the text we are going to read. You know, names of parts of speech are noun, pronoun, adjective, verb, adverb, preposition, conjunction, and intersection. These are 8 in number. But we have keen knowledge and skill on identifying these parts of speech from the text. First of all, the noun or the naming word is identified with some questions like who, which, whom, whose, and what. As for example, I am going to read out the text from Unit 1 of your textbook, The Unforgettable History. I stand before you today with a heart overflowing with grief. This is the very first sentence of your text. Here, a sentence which has different parts of speech in it. You see, I is a pronoun which will be discussed later on. Stand is a verb, of course it will be discussed later on. Before is a preposition. You, another pronoun. Today is an adverb with a preposition. A heart, and this is a noun. Noun is called a naming word. That means the word gives the name of anything. So we get 2 nouns in this sentence, heart and grief. Then the case of pronoun. You know, pronoun is a substitute to noun. That is, pronoun sits in place of a noun. As for example, here you see, I stand before you. Here I is a pronoun. Of course, the very word I bears a name. So it is used in place of a name. That's why it is a substitute of a noun. So pronoun and noun are basically the same part of speech. Both of them are called naming words, and these are identified with questions who, which, what, whom, and whose. Then comes the case of adjective. Adjective is called a modifying part of speech, which modifies noun and pronoun, of course. Here in this sentence, you see that you are fully aware of the events that are going on and understand their import. I have been trying to do our best to cope with the situation, and yet, unfortunately, the street of Dhaka, Chittagong, Khulna, and Rajshahi and Rangpur are awash with the blood of our brothers. The people of Bengal now want to be free. The people of Bengal now want to live, and the people of Bengal now want their rights. What we have done that was wrong? Could you understand the word wrong? Yes, friends, wrong is an adjective. An adjective modifies or gives the state of a noun or a pronoun. Say for example, like this. This is an old house. Here, the old is an adjective because it modifies the house. So, adjective is a substitute to noun. Then comes the question of verb. The verb is a word which indicates action. You know, every sentence has a verb inside, of course. Without any verb, no English sentence can be written or used correctly. That's why verb is a must in every English sentence. Here it is in the sentence, I stand before you today with the heart overflowing with grief. Here you see that stand itself is a verb. A verb denotes action. Might it be a strong action or a minor action? Like, he is a student. Here in this sentence you see, he is a student. Is a very minor verb that is connecting the complement with the subject. But it is necessary, and of course it cannot be avoided. Rather, in other languages like Bangla, she ekjon bhalo chele, in this sentence, verb is not used, though it is understood in this sentence. But in English, verb must be written or spoken. Without a use of verb, no sentence can be transformed. Then comes the question of adverb. Friends, adverb is a very wonderful part of speech. It denotes the quality of verbs, adjectives, adverbs itself without noun or pronoun. In other words, we can say that an adverb qualifies or modifies all parts of speech except noun and pronoun. Generally, an adverb is identified with some questions: how, why, when, where, etc. In this sentence, as I am going to read before you, you are fully aware of the events that are going on and understand their import. Here in this sentence, fully is an adverb. And in this sentence, I stand before you today with the heart overflowing with grief. Here in this sentence, today is an adverb. It denotes the place, time, manner, and other qualifications of verbs and adjectives, and of course the adverb itself. So today denotes the place where the action is taking place. Fully is a word which denotes how the action is completed. That's why today and fully, these two words are adverbs. Then comes the question of preposition. You know, preposition is a word which connects two parts of speech sitting before a noun or a pronoun, especially. In a sentence, the use of preposition is very important, and use of preposition is classified as appropriate prepositions because these prepositions are used according to the past history which has been followed by the literary persons or grammarians or language itself. In this way, we see that I stand before you today. Before here is a preposition. You see that the word before connects the word you with the verb stand. I stand before you. Here before is a preposition which connecting you and make a complete sense. That's why we can say that preposition is a word, connecting word that connects noun or pronoun with the sentence, especially. Of course, prepositions have other uses, but these are not commonly discussed, and here we are only introducing to you with the basic forms or general forms of parts of speech. Then we are going to discuss conjunctions. Conjunctions are some parts of speech that are very much similar to preposition, because conjunctions connects also words and it has a greater range. That's why it can connect two clauses or sentences with each other. In this sentence, you are fully aware of the events that are going on. Here in this sentence, you see that is used before you are going on, that are going on and understand their import in before this sentence. That's why that is a conjunction that connects two clauses. You are fully aware of the event that are going on and understand their import. Here that is connecting two clauses together. That's why these type of words that connect, this type of word that connect two sentences or clauses are called conjunctions. Then come the question of interjections. Interjections are such words that express a sudden emotion, like alas, hurrah, bravo, etc. These are not much grammatical. These are expressed to denote our emotion and sudden feeling, of course. Friends, in this way we can have some ideas on introduction about parts of speech, but you have to be very keen on the use of parts of speech, and this thing will form the base of our learning process. I have the next program today. As for our second objective, the use of verbs. Verbs are special parts of speech which denote action, I have already said. But we have the special concern about verb, because verbs can form an action of a sentence, and these actions are varied in senses. Say for example, the boy plays football in the field. Here, plays is a verb which is indicating the present action. If we say the boy played football in the field, here the verb is used to indicate the past action. And if we say that the boy will play football in the field, here the verb will play indicates the use of future action. That's why verbs have different categories and their types are different, of course. And we have a very attentive process to know and to learn verbs, of course. Verbs are generally classified into two sections: finite verbs and non-finite verbs. Finite verbs mean verbs that can complete an action, like he goes to school. Here, goes is a finite verb, but if I say that going to school, he reads his books. Here in this sentence, going is of course a verb, but it is not a finite verb. It is not completing the sentence, and it's called non-finite verb. So we have to be sure about in the sentence whether this type of verb is a finite verb or this type of verb is a non-finite verb. And before that, we must say that finite verbs have tenses. That means the period of action. You know, on the board you see that introduction to tenses. In this chapter, we must say tenses are divided into three types: present tense, past tense, and future tense. Each of them are divided into four groups: present indefinite, past indefinite, future indefinite, that means indefinite tense, continuous tenses, perfect tenses, and perfect continuous tenses. These systems will be discussed in detail later on. Here in our today's class, we just have some introductory discussions on the language pattern, which are very necessary for our future learning process. And of course, these will be clarified later on, and our English texts will be solved on the line of grammatical patterns and of course in the method of communicative English system. So here we are concluding our today's lesson, and I think you have got some ideas about that. If you have any question, of course you will communicate with us so that we can make you the answers of that questions, and you will be aware of your lessons, of course. May Allah bless you all. Assalamu